Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Combat Culture Africa. On the microphone right now is Oche Young Jollof Edache. To my right is Chidi Boy the Mil Nwankwo.
What's up?
Right across from him is Innocent Skelly Edache.
What up?
And right beside him is the Minister of Fitness himself, Icebox Mayokun Okuno.
The last but definitely not the least.
Yes, the last but definitely not the
The
least.
least is in height.
There's no need for this. Too early.
But the first in age.
Mayo, for a really short guy, Mayo is a really powerful individual.
Thank
Of
you.
course he is. But short guys are like that in general. You know, my two best friends are short.
Okay, yeah. What?
Willie is 5'5". and
Shout outs to Will, by the way.
Will is like 5'4". So
Wow.
maybe even
That's Kevin Hart. That's Kevin Hart.
That's Kevin Hart territory, and he's cool as shit. So.
All right, guys. So topic of the day, man. Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian nightmare. He's here.
He is here.
He's here. And that is
here,
pretty...
here? Like here in the country right now?
Yeah, is it there? I don't know where he is. He might be in the country right now.
I think he actually is. If he's not here right now, he's due this weekend. Like while we're here, like probably today or tomorrow.
Isn't that wild that the welterweight champion of the UFC is in Nigeria? Like it's crazy enough that he is Nigerian, but that like
crazy that
we're breathing the same air right now. He's in traffic. He could be in traffic.
Yeah. Feeling the same heat.
They are blocking his Twitter as well.
Yeah, he's just looking like, man, what is happening?
What's happening in this joint?
All right, man, but like, yeah. So, Mayo, I think you're in the best position to like give some back information on how all of this came to be. Why is he here? Who is bringing him in? How do we meet him?
Okay, so I'm going to reference back to the last episode when we spoke about Rock's Fight Night.
Of course.
So part of the things that we do with Rock's Fight Night, apart from propagating our own shows, we also help other people propagate their own shows. So because we have all the facilities, we have the Octagon, the first training Octagon built in the country. We have a boxing ring as well, where we do shows. So when other people want to do shows in the city, they reach out to us. Sometimes we build it in different capacities. Sometimes we just provide you with our ring. Sometimes we do the ring, get you fighters, ring girls, officials, the whole lot. So one of the people who benefits from this service of ours, the Play Network, they have been doing shows for some time now. I think they've probably done about 3. Okay. And they do it in a very cool setting. You know, it's almost like a white collar event. You get really dressed up. It's in a high-end luxury club, you know, and it's a well-to-do event kind of thing. So they sent me, they're the ones who are bringing Kamaru in. Well, that's what I believe. I believe they're the ones. It's possible that Kamaru had other things he wanted to do in the country, or he already planned to come in, but they're definitely the ones, this Play Network I'm talking about now, they're definitely the ones who have the biggest, who are making the most noise about him being here for them. So I was just doing my routine checks. Oh, when are we going to do our next show? So we can book it out on our calendar for the use of our ring. And then next thing I get this flyer and I'm like, what? Like, this isn't a joke. Like, this is Kamaru I'm looking at, and this is happening like right here in our city. Because we get these guys come to the country a lot actually, but they're always in Lagos. So for those of you who don't know,
Abuja centric, actually.
Exactly. So for those of you who don't know, we are based in Abuja, in the actual capital, but Lagos is more like it's like the
Las Vegas.
Exactly, it's the Las Vegas.
Or like New York and Washington D.C. New York is
exactly.
Washington D.C. is administrative, and
New York
then
is commercial.
New York is commercial.
Exactly like that. So it's a big deal for us, and this is why we're so excited. I don't know if you can tell in the sound of my voice and my tone, but we can feel it in the air. We're excited because for once, you know, Abuja is not getting. We're not getting silent. They're not looking past us. So many times we've talked about it. Like I'll tell people, like, I'm just going to buy a ticket and just go to Lagos so I can spend 30 minutes, you know, with Israel. Like last time he came as well, he was in here. Sadiq too. Last time he was here, he was in Lagos. So it's a big deal, and we're excited. And we just Play Network is the ones who we know are responsible for bringing him here.
Excellent. Okay, so it's now that we have. Shout out to Play Network, by the way.
Yeah.
Awesome work, awesome job.
Absolutely.
I hope they invest.
Recoup the funds
I hope they get their money back, and I hope they invest the adequate manpower into running a professional fighting event.
Yes.
Is it only boxing?
So I generally that's what they have. They have boxing dues, but so I know we're supposed to talk about this later on in the show, but this is where Combat Culture comes in play, and you know, our Body Rocks and Rocks Fight Club. We're trying to make sure that there's actually MMA bouts going to be on the card as well.
So that would mean that it's an MMA bout in a boxing ring.
Yes.
Happens.
That's
Uh,
that's
yeah,
not
well,
un-
it
that's
happens,
that's
yeah.
not unusual. It happens
It
a lot in
happens-
Asia.
it-
Pride.
Pride.
Pride was
back
that.
in the day.
No, the reason why
Yeah.
I bring that up is because if Chidi is fighting on the night, I'm curious to see how that affects
His wrestling.
his
and-
wrestling,
There's no
wall
cage, too.
work, like how that works.
Hmm.
And
I don't
But-
really think it really affects him in any way.
I mean,
to be
because
honest.
if considering all the other settings he trained, like if it goes to ABV, they kind of have like walls
Open,
in some
yeah.
places and it's a bit open, sometimes outside. When it goes to the American estate,
yeah.
there's no walls
Yeah,
at
there's
all.
no-
So I mean,
It should
I
work.
think it'll be alright.
Yeah.
It just
Anyway.
takes away some things that you would normally use. Like I like to walk off the wall a lot.
Yeah,
you
same.
know, off the
Same,
cage.
same here, man.
Yeah. So.
Okay, all right. So Chidi, if you were to meet Usman on the night, assuming everything goes well, you're healthy, you perform that day, and you meet Usman on the night, I think you're going to meet him. What would be the thing foremost on your mind that you would want to talk to him about?
I mean, this might sound like a bit of a joke, yeah. But one thing I actually want to ask him is how good it felt punching
Colby in the jaw.
face and breaking his jaw. Like, I just really want to know how good it felt. Because
Yeah.
come on, for someone that talks that much shit and you genuinely hate that person, and you actually achieved breaking his jaw, shutting him off for like how many months? 2, 3
Yeah.
months?
Yeah,
Nobody
man.
saw him on Twitter,
Just-
on Instagram
just
for a while.
Going for a full-on like stand-up battle with
feels
him.
so good.
Because I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a boring fight. I thought it was going to be two wrestlers neutralizing each other.
I thought
for
it was
the
going to
entire
be a
time.
decision.
Yeah, that's what I
the
thought.
thing.
And then he went bomb. The guy were throwing bombs at each other.
That was one of the greatest fights.
That was an
I've seen.
incredible
That was
fight.
an incredible fight.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's funny if
Positively surprising.
If I made a top 5 of my favorite fights of all time that I've watched, Kamaru, the two Nigerian champions would be in that list. Kelvin Gastelum and Israel
Israel.
Adesanya is my
Yeah.
number one
Incredible.
of all time.
Yeah.
I watch it every chance I get. Kamaru versus Colby, even though I missed the culmination of the fight because I was moving to my house. So
I
he told
remember.
me, Mayo told me on the phone, like, because I watched the first maybe 2 or 3 rounds, and then the truck came and I had to start moving stuff into the house. And I remember seeing the result on Twitter, and I was just screaming because I was scared that Kamaru was going to lose that fight. And he did, man. He came through. He kept it.
Wait, hang on a second. Was there a memo sent to wear like combat culture t-shirts today? Because I didn't get that.
No.
It's
I
just brothers in the spirit. You know?
You guys slept in the same house.
Maybe they are
With the
sleeping
same
with the
girl.
same woman. Exactly. See, we are brothers in the spirit,
You know,
man.
Well, y'all can sit there looking like shit.
Dana Black, what about you though? Because I think the good thing about this table, right, is Chidi represents like the youthful vigor, the fighter, the guy who is putting himself
the
out
talent.
there.
Yeah.
You represent a lot of the business side of it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say vintage.
No,
You know I'm sensitive
he's
of my
old.
age.
Yeah. Business. Skelly is almost academic, and I think I have a little bit of everybody inside me. No homo.
That
Yeah.
sounded so
Wow.
We were actually I'm not editing that bit out. So what would you ask him from just because you have such a unique business perspective on things? You have 1.5 minutes. There's so many people around you, pretty girls trying to get his attention, everything, and he just says, "Oh, this is the guy that set up the ring, Mayo Icebox. He owns a gym. He meets Usman." What would you say?
Kamaru, how can we make this thing really blow in Nigeria? That's it.
That's the long and short.
I want to know. I want to know his idea.
Yeah.
I'm the man on ground,
Yeah.
but he's the man out there.
Yeah.
So you tell me, how can we make this thing blow? That's it, and I'll leave the rest to him. Tell me.
And let him talk.
Yeah, I planned before this recording to plug in Play Network as much as possible so that when we're putting it on social media and people tag them or they get to see it, there's a bit of, they might just play some favoritism if we're at the event and maybe just make something happen. So Play Network, shout out to you guys, man.
Play Network.
Make Dana Black meet Usman. Please. We need to make that happen.
Can I say something else about Play Network? Is I mean, people have their different ideas or their feelings about Play Network. Fine, and I'm not even trying to chime into that, but I really felt like Charles was like the man of 2020. Let me explain what I mean by that. The way Dana White was seriously antagonized for pushing and doing so much and really being aggressive in trying to still make things happen, irrespective of the lockdown. Let me not say irrespective as if it was dismissing what was happening, but trying to work with that, but still make things happen. It's the same way I felt Charles of Play was doing all this as well here. He was still trying to push shows on. He was trying to get creative. He did the drive-in concert.
Yeah.
Even things went wrong with the Naira Marley one, and then, you know, people came in.
Still pushing
But I
that.
love the fact that he was just trying to
Yeah.
keep doing something. You know, everybody was just at home, you know, tweeting or making complaints on Instagram. But there were guys who were out there literally just trying, man, because his industry was hit just as hard as ours, if not
One of the worst hits.
one of the worst hit. Like, so the fitness industry, the nightlife industry, those ones got the hardest, like, the hits, and he just kept on trying to do stuff every single time. He kept on trying to be initiated. So I thought he should have been man of 2020, and even before that, let's sling it right back. He tried to get Mayweather here.
Oh, wow.
That was already announced. There was the posters, everything came
see
out.
that.
I remember that.
Remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
And he spoke to me then as well, because they also wanted the boxing ring back then.
Oh.
Mayweather was supposed to come. Do you know what stopped that from happening? The fight with Conor materialized way quicker than everybody thought.
Wow.
Amazing.
That
This
was
all
that
the way
year.
in 2019, right?
No, that was earlier
That was
than that.
before that. That was
The fight
before
with Mayweather was probably
was
2018.
Oh, 2018.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was
4 years
real
ago.
Conor
Yeah.
mania back then.
Yeah. So Charles has been trying to do stuff for a long time. So shout out to Charles and Play Network. You guys keeping the flag and the torch burning as much as the world is going tits up and our country is going tits up. Still trying to make things happen. So
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
big ups.
I know one of the questions I would ask Usman, because I was thinking about it this morning, that I feel that I believe in destiny as long as hard work is put in.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you create your own destiny based on how much work you put in.
Yeah.
And
True.
I'll be honest, right? This is just a bit of like personal information. Yesterday, I was drained. Like, I had I've been healing from this injury, coming back, working so odd hours, and I was doing podcast, editing, getting everybody's videos to them. And I won't lie, at one point I sat down and I was like, why the fuck am I doing this shit?
what's the
Like,
point?
what's the payoff? What am I getting
yeah.
in return? Anyway, I now thought about, but like, you might meet Usman. And I have a list of people that I want to meet. Highest person on that list actually right now is Dana White. And it's not even just for fighting. I mean, as a human being, I feel the day I meet Dana, and Joe Rogan is an actual close second, but I feel like the day I meet Dana White, all my visions for all the things that we're doing
just come
will
together.
materialize. So I'm really looking forward to it. Usman is on that list. What I want to ask Usman actually is what the difference in training with Trevor Whitman was as opposed to training with Henry Hooft in Sanford MMA. Because I was watching this video that Full Reptile, Dan Hardy's media company, put out this morning, and it was on the training methodology that they adopt in Elevation MMA, where Trevor Whitman is. And I saw Trevor Whitman explaining to a fighter the difference between jabbing when somebody is on their rear foot, they are retreating, and jabbing when the person is balanced, stable.
Yeah.
And the way he was explaining it to this guy, nothing anybody has ever taught me has about something so meaningless.
So basic.
Yes,
such a
you could
nuance,
see the
yeah.
guy's eye open. Please, all of you watch that video.
amazing.
It's a 44-minute video. Please
send a
watch
link.
it. Yeah.
What's
So,
it called?
Elevation MMA. Like, just search Elevation MMA Full Reptile.
I think it was in my. It was
Recommendations.
Yeah, today.
Please watch that, man. Like,
Okay.
I was like, wow, so this is the actual next level. Especially now that I'm healing from this, I'm trying to think about how I can do things differently,
different, yeah.
be smarter. So, yeah, and just a bit of back. I got injured in training last week. That's what the injury we're referring. So to the guys that are wondering what we're talking about, and I haven't trained.
Plus it was his birthday.
Yeah, on my birthday. So I haven't trained in 2 weeks. But yeah, so I just want to know what Trevor Whitman has done for him and how maybe we can replicate stuff like that. I think it's similar to how I got very good training under you guys, but then when I now went to Marcus and I trained with him one-on-one for 3 months, I came back and I was a different fighter. So yeah, that's mine. Just a bit of a segue.
Let me key into that as well. I think, when I said before that everything was just going to be falling in place and everything's already been happening, that we just might not see it. We don't understand when the chips start, assembling themselves. We don't even know that's going on. We just think life is just happening as it is. But there's a grand design here and something big is happening. So just before the month started, I was trying to reformat Fight Club. And people were like, how do you want to reformat it when it's going so well and it's doing so good? It's because I'm preparing for the next thing. So we brought in extra hands. At the time, it's not easy. Like, we're not making,
not swimming.
we're not balling out on money where we say, let's pay this person, pay that person. But the best that we could do is stretch ourselves more, bring in more hands, bring in more specialties. So, Chidi officially came on the roster, for this new month to start. Then we're bringing a judo guy in as well.
Ooh.
High-level judo guy to come in as well. We're just trying to, the person to sign the papers, she's not been in the country, but she's back now because she was doing judo stuff.
Is it the lady that provided you the mats initially?
Yes,
Okay.
but it's not her doing it, it's her guy.
Oh,
But
good.
Dahiru trains with him.
Oh, interesting.
He's really good.
Mm.
So he's coming in. Then we're turning Fridays. Fridays kind of went from, it was supposed to be MMA sparring, then it became open mats. And not just because I didn't want to be doing every single day, because I didn't want to burn out and then not want to do it next week. So I kind of just left that open. But people just kind of not stop coming for that. So Friday is now Pro Fighter Development Day.
Ooh.
So on those days,
That's where Chidi comes in.
we handle nuances.
Mm.
There was a drill I was doing in the other jiu-jitsu class like 3 weeks ago, and I was rolling, I was like tumbling on my side, I kind of pretty much doing somersaults, and I got myself super dizzy. Then I kept on doing it until the round started. Then I went to start rolling. And we used to do that sometimes to handle what it's like to get rocked.
Wobbled.
When you get rocked and then you go and end up on the ground, and how do you put yourself together? So things like that. The things I wouldn't teach that in a class.
Of course.
So, but on a day when I know, you're fighting, you need to know this stuff. So some of your rounds, I might do that to you. I might just get you a little bit dizzy and say, go get in, go do your rounds. So that's what the Pro Fighter Development Fridays are going to be like now. And then things like experiential things. So, okay, Oche, you're having a fight. So you're coming in on Friday for that session. You're going to walk in and then you notice that 50 seats are out and there's people there. Just get used to fighting in front of people.
That's right.
Things like that. So that's what Friday is going to be like now.
Excellent stuff, man.
Good,
Excellent.
Really good.
Yeah, things are falling in place. I love that. We've gotten the podcast off the ground again. Everybody's training actively. Chidi is making connections with all the local fighters we have. You are pursuing business. Everybody's doing their thing, and that's beautiful. Next weekend, Israel Adesanya is fighting Marvin Vettori, isn't he?
Yeah. Big card.
yeah.
That card is heavy.
It's one of those cards I just like from top to bottom.
It's
Yeah,
heavy.
Skelly, walk us through that.
All 5 fights. I'll start from the first fight on the card, and that's Paul Craig, Bear Jew. I just like the guy, and he's fighting Jamal Hill. I believe they're both ranked.
I love Jamal Hill.
Everybody loves Jamal Hill too. He's undefeated, 8-0, and I believe they're 14 and 15 in the light heavyweight division. I think they're setting this up for Jamal Hill for his real rise in the rankings.
Into the top 10.
Yeah, he's sort of, I don't know, maybe he's like 4 or 5 fights into his UFC run now. And like, I just feel like if he wins, then of course everybody's going to sit up and take note. Because Paul Craig is no joke. Paul Craig will choke you out in no time. And for light heavyweight, light heavyweights tend to sort of be in that middle space between really jacked and starting to get a little soft because of the higher weight and everything. He's muscular guy, really
I
strong.
think I've met Paul Craig before.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
think he came training Thinking Angels one time.
So yeah,
I
mean,
feel like you've even said this before.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I think I've trained.
I
him.
would. I think you
Yeah.
definitely said this before.
Stevie Ray definitely, but I think Paul Craig as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that fight. And then Demian Maia versus Bilal Muhammad. Man, I'm worried for Demian.
The striking, when
He's
I think,
also 42 years old.
yeah, he's an old man, and what I can't get the picture of him versus Ben
43.
Askren in my mind. That Ben Askren, and like a young, hungry lion like Bilal, you throw him in there with him. Yeah, the jiu-jitsu is there, but it's just,
I literally erased that fight off.
bro,
I don't remember it.
bro, that fight was.
Wait,
Jesus, now I remember
Yeah,
it. It was horrible.
it was ugly.
It was
ugly.
like
wait, they fought.
Ben Askren.
was so
We watched the
bad.
fight
Oh.
together
At the
at the hotel, at the
It
poolside.
was that bad.
Yes.
It was that
Paul
bad.
Craig was on that card as well.
I believe so.
That may be where you actually spoke
said
of
it, yeah.
meeting him.
Of meeting
in
him,
the
yes,
past. Yeah.
yes. I can't remember who he fought on that card, but
Yeah.
he was definitely there. And I think Paul Craig's last fight was Shogun.
How did that go?
He won.
Okay.
Yeah, Shogun is.
I think they're kind of
Time.
phasing out. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
phasing out all the older guys.
And then this just might be the fight of the night. Leon Edwards coming back. Well, he fought Bilal, but that was short.
Really? That's the fight of the night for you?
Oh yeah.
Versus
With
Lee
Nate.
Diaz, yeah.
Now, the thing is-
crowd will be insane.
I was gonna go crazy.
That's what I don't normally. I'm not a big Nate Diaz fan. I've always been a Nick Diaz fan,
Yes.
and I never just could get behind Nate
Yeah,
Diaz.
Nate. I love
But
Nate.
I love this is the first fight that I'm excited for Nate. Like Nate versus I think it's gonna.
Personally, I think it's gonna be
One side.
I agree.
You think who's gonna
I
win?
agree with you.
One-sided towards where?
towards
Leon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Leon.
I thought you were going to
I
say
believe
towards.
Leon's gonna win.
I thought you were going to say towards Nate.
But for some reason, they've made this non-title 5 rounds. Like,
because the one thing to favor Nate Diaz, that's obviously.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
Nate does have,
durability.
he does have cardio, but you know, Leon.
So does Leon. Though.
Yeah, man.
So does Leon.
Leon is
Diaz durability is weird because he
Yeah.
starts off first 3 rounds, he always loses the first 3
Yeah.
rounds. Then
Yeah.
after that, he just
now
picks
just-
up.
yeah,
and
he
then
does.
he'll bleed. Like,
Yeah.
anyway. Then we get to the title fights. Davison Figueiredo,
That is the fight of the
Figueiredo
night.
and Brandon
Yeah, it's
Moreno.
definitely
Part
the
two.
Part
First
two.
fight was really good.
That was one of my favorite fights of all time.
Yeah, it's a great fight.
It's
Super
literally
fast,
fight
super
of the
rapid,
year,
yeah.
if not the what's the name?
Ah, man, those guys beat each
John
other. Sha.
Whaley was that?
Yeah,
the
John
first
Whaley.
one?
Yeah.
They're the ones who beat them.
That's also on my top 5 fights of all
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
The
it's a
UFC
great
has
fight.
killed it in the last 3 years, haven't
Yo,
Absolutely.
It's
like
ridiculous.
Lockdown
When-
brought something out of
they? Yes.
When Mayo was talking about Man of the Year, and that Dana White thing, like just a small point on something I learned from everything Dana did last year, and when Mayo made the point about Charles, it stunk in as well. Is that in every crisis situation like this, you need those mavericks, those guys who are going to be pushing the edges. What can we do? Because if you just follow, I know it was a public health crisis. You have to protect people's lives.
Yeah.
But if you just think in that area, we lose so much else about what makes us human.
Absolutely.
Business,
Absolutely.
sports, entertainment, community. We lose so much. So you need those
Ring
guys who are
girls.
thinking, how do I make it work? Ring girls, how do I make it work in this situation? So shout out to Dana White.
Excellent, man.
But and then of course the big one, and I've been enjoying the trolling that's been going on. Israel Adesanya versus Martin Troy. Israel's been destroying this guy. And the worst part, it's the guy from the Goonies.
that monster.
Yeah. And it kind of works.
He really does.
It works.
All right,
So how
man.
do you guys think that fight's going to go? Because Israel struggled with
first
Jan
fight, the
takedown.
Blahovich's, size and power.
Of course.
And Jan would shoot in the center of the octagon, so that Israel didn't have the defense to help him stay up.
Of course.
And then that power translated into the takedown and all that. And I think Marvin's going to try and do the same thing.
Of course.
So how do you guys see that one going?
Let me start with this one. So the Jan Blachowicz fight, I feel like why the takedowns were more effective was because of the weight difference.
Yes.
Definitely, because
Yes.
Israel didn't actually add weight for that fight, and that played a huge factor. Because you saw him struggle getting up.
Absolutely.
Usually he just like
Props up.
pops up.
yeah.
That's fine. But like, again, so now he's back to his weight class. I don't feel like the takedowns will be an issue now because, to be honest, he gets so much better with each fight, and it's amazing like how good he gets with each fight.
You don't think Marvin walks into that octagon weighing at least 200 pounds?
He's a massive
He's
dude.
a
But
massive
see, that's the
middleweight.
thing. They're expecting that.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
literally expecting that because that's his only play.
I'm just being a devil's advocate because once Israel lost the Jan fight, Israel strikes me as the kind of guy who will show up and put up. I just stopped myself from swearing. A masterpiece next weekend. That's the kind of guy he strikes. Like they will go to the lab. Eugene Behrman's gonna be like, all right, this, that, and the other. You'll see, even if I get the feeling, even if you see him on his back, he will be effective off his back.
Of course.
I agree.
I just feel like
I agree.
these guys put in the work, man. They do.
He was even saying that even after the loss, he was just saying how he was ineffective in some positions and he just wasn't coming together. He was well aware even from that moment,
You
even
see,
before getting
there
to
you
the
go.
lab.
There you go. And they have big guys at
CKB.
At CKB.
Yeah, man.
New Zealand,
I think it's gonna
everywhere's
be. I think it's gonna be an amazing. It's gonna be an amazing fight. So Style Blender's channel is called Freestyle Blender.
That's right.
Yeah, and he released a video yesterday morning. Every day they release. Every couple of days they release a video on his training camp. So the one that was released yesterday was on his wrestling. So what their version of Shark Tank is Spider, and he was going through Spider and was all wrestling. Everything was wrestling. You would see him on his back doing armbar and triangle drills. Like he was pushed. Like you could see him going to beyond like just wrestling.
I'm ready to die stage.
Yeah, so it's gonna be excellent, guys. I'm sure we've exceeded our time
We
for
have.
the day. Yeah, we have. So let's call it a day.
timing.
Yeah. Please follow us on Instagram. It's Combat Culture Africa. Send us an email, combatcultureafrica@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, Combat Culture AF. As on Twitter, if Nigeria has unbanned Twitter by this time. And please show us some love. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well.
If you guys actually want Combat Culture merch, we're here.
There you go. Two of us are repping.
Don't mind
Two
this.
smartest people on the street.
Send us a
Want some
message.
merch?
Yeah, and shout outs to Real African Fighters on Instagram.
That's
Please give them a follow. They're really good guys.
And on Instagram, you said they've been great.
They're good, and
great.
we're planning on doing a Zoom episode with them.
That'd be brilliant.
And I have some guests that are going to be upsetting to some of you. One of them is the guy that gave me my injury.
Oche.
bro. Eventually. But yeah,
we need to work up to that.
Yeah, we'll work up to that. Yeah, I can see. I wanted to do it on air so that everybody just starts.
Are we still on air?
We are, man. All right, guys. In 3, 2, 1. Peace.